We're told that most beautiful landscapes are there for everyone to enjoy, but the more protected an area becomes, the more tightly its use is controlled. Living there, even quietly and with little impact, becomes much harder to justify. Once we actually try to live on land inside a protected landscape, the planning system starts behaving very differently. If these landscapes belong to everyone, why is it so difficult to live within them? Living on the road, waterways or off-grid in the UK, Dickie Dread. We're on part 26 in the video series, chapter 3, Living on the Land or Water, Parking Up and Planning Reality. And today we're going to cover national parks and protected landscapes. So all of the above, and that's the restrictions we were talking about yesterday in terms of woodland, charcoal and alternative uses, becomes more restrictive once land falls within a national park or protected landscape. While the detail varies between England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, the overall approach is consistent. Protected landscapes are given additional weight in planning decisions, and new residential development is more difficult to justify. These areas are subject to the same planning law, but with an additional duty placed on authorities to conserve and enhance the natural environment. In practice, that means that development, which might be arguable elsewhere, is far less likely to be accepted. New dwellings in open countryside are already tightly controlled under planning policy across the UK, particularly in England, through the National Planning Policy Framework. Within a national park, the expectation is even stronger. The development will be avoided unless it is clearly justified and cannot reasonably be located elsewhere. And to be honest with you, I would just say completely 100% avoid national parks if that's what you're looking at to set up an abode. For those attempting to establish a presence on land, this has practical consequences. Low-level or informal use may still go unnoticed for a time, but once identified, enforcement is often more decisive. Incremental development, a vehicle, then infrastructure, then longer stays, is less likely to be tolerated. Agricultural necessity cases are also harder to make. The threshold for demonstrating functional need remains the same in principle, but the scrutiny applied is typically higher, and alternative locations are more rigorously considered. What appears to be the most remote and free landscape can, therefore, be one of the most tightly controlled. The protections that preserve the character of these areas also limit the scope for living within them, outside of established planning routes. So protected landscapes are protected not only from development, but from many forms of alternative living. The places that appear to offer the greatest freedom may actually be subject to the greatest level of control, which means the issue may not just be planning permission or national parks, it might actually be who is permitted to live in the UK's most protected landscapes. How much freedom really exists once every landscape has rules attached to it? Okay, short section today, but tomorrow we're still in chapter 3, Living on the Land or Water, Parking Up and Planning Reality, and we're going to have a number of case studies now. The first one is a case study which was rotation without visibility.